I don't know why. I'm in so much pain. Well, I do know why. Today was like my first day like out and about. I went out to a really cute cafe today. It was really nice. And I just wanted to like test like my energy levels today because I have to go back to work next week. So yeah, I'm in a lot of pain. So it's going out. But it's okay. Hello, I'm Shleb, and you are watching a video about my surgery in Japan. Fair warning, I won't be showing like, will I? I shouldn't be showing anything like too graphic or anything like that. If I do, there will be fair warning and stuff. And I'm not fully recovered from this surgery. Hopefully, as you can tell, I'm still quite swollen, mostly on this side. And if you can't tell by my voice, yeah, still trying to get better. So, my mouth still hurts quite a bit, and I do have my stitches in still, but I'm like mostly recovered. I should be okay. I just wanted to make a video about my experience with surgery in Japan and whatnot, because how many people can say that they've had surgery in another country? I don't know, maybe for those curious. I don't know. Just gonna share, okay? We're just sharing today. It is sharing. What's it called in elementary school? Like that one day where like you get to like share at the beginning of class. I don't know, there was like a name for that. I'm gonna be talking about the entire process and whatnot, so this might be a lengthy video, but I hope it's very informative based on my experience. This is not everyone's experience. You're definitely gonna think this is like a minor surgery, especially if you are American, because in America it's not a big deal for you to get your wisdom teeth taken out. However, it's not really taken that lightly here in Japan, and for my heckin' wisdom teeth, it was not taken very lightly. So yeah, I just want to share my experiences all, and I'm gonna try to share as much as I can that I do remember, and I do remember quite a bit of it, but also was sleeping a lot, so I mean.
よかった。私のね、エアコンが効かないんですよ。あ、本当にですか。これ
そうだった。
Alex is here, and he just got a cell phone. You want to show the cell phone? Mushy mush. I'm so tired. I just want to sleep already.
It's recording.
Hey. What's up? I think she took some video in camera. And you're doing this one now. It's not so sweet of him. Except I had to beg him to do this. I don't know why. But he's now doing it, which is kind of cool. Oh, who there? Nope. Hey, what's up? I'm in the hospital and I had a panic attack. It was kind of scary. But I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm doing okay. That's you smiling, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna go sleep now. Bye. For YouTube, I go viral.
Stop.
I make lots of money because I'm still a breadwinner. I want to see my chubby cheeks. Ready?
No, don't.
Cheese. I put right back on.
Okay.
What do you mean? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
It's good. Oh dear. Ugh, that is so gross. Well, think I'm leaving today after how many days? 4 days? 5 days?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, today. So this is day 5. 4.5 days.
I just have to talk about most of my experience because I didn't vlog a lot of it. But wow, was it awful. Wow, this eye looks really, really blue because of how yellow my skin is. I should do this more often.
Oh, I see.
My cheeks are so puffy, but I have so many pictures. I took pictures every day, I think, of my cheeks. And the discoloration started yesterday, I think. And today's obviously the worst that we've seen so far, but yeah. I think Alex hated this experience more than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't enjoy it, but like, I don't know, I slept. I was on my phone. Well, for the first few days I didn't touch my phone, but I don't know. It's whatever. I'll have to do more talking when my throat is fully healed too. Because apparently they scratched up my throat when they took out the tube, so it's kind of sore. Not too bad, but I look like Maddie. Is it getting worse?
What? Your swelling is going down. The bruising is probably getting worse.
I look really gross, but that's just inevitable. Hi, so I'm going home today. I think I mentioned that like earlier, like an hour ago maybe, but I am going home today. Waiting for Marcia to come, and she's gonna translate all the paperwork, and then we have to pay for the stuff. Oh, did I tell you I found out my blood type?
Oh, what type are you?
What blood type are you?
I don't know.
Can you guess what mine is?
Oh, positive?
No.
AB negative?
B positive.
B positive.
Be positive. I'm so excited to go home. And I can hang out on Twitch again. I didn't show like my IV drip, no nothing. My tummy made her noise. But yeah. It's raining, it's
It's one of those
pouring.
days where it looks like it's 8 o'clock and it's 11
Yeah,
o'clock.
it's snowing. Aren't you proud of me though? I'm B positive.
I don't know what type I am.
It means I'm positive. I'm excited to brush my teeth. But yeah, this has been my room for the past 5 days. I did not use this TV monitor at all. I put stuff in here. Did you open this up? Nothing?
I mean, there's a towel and another shower thing here.
There's this thing that I barely used. This has my laptop in it. Did you get my laptop out? You almost touched my laptop here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's like a fridge, but it's not really a fridge. I think you're supposed to buy ice from the kombini. And then I stole a chair, so I have 2 chairs in here, but like, we're only supposed to have 1. I did not sleep well at all. Last night, I didn't tell you, I had a nightmare. And I think I like shot up and like yelled or something. But like no one came and like checked up on me, so I don't know if I yelled or not.
Probably didn't yell if no one came in.
But like, I remember I shot up and I was like, because I had a dream that we were together. I don't really know what was happening, but there were so many bugs and I was panicking because you know how I feel about bugs. And then all of a sudden there was like scorpions, and like you were trying to catch the scorpions, but they kept like biting you and you were freaking out. They're like, they're poisonous. And then I saw 1, then I saw 2, and I just saw so many of them, and I like freaked out.
That's terrible.
And like I remember I was like standing up, backing up, and I was like, and that's when I shot up and I was like,
to like
Yeah, I was wondering why like I didn't have like a little remote thing where I could do it because I can't get up and
exactly
adjust my bed. Okay, I'm reacting to like pictures and videos of me coming right out of surgery.
you can still see like how high you are from the amnesia. You said you were the breadwinner.
I want to see my chubby cheeks. Ready?
No, don't.
Cheese. I put right back on.
No, don't.
Cheese.
Is that my new alert? Don't.
Put right back on.
That's so good. So these are my amazing teeth. So as you can see, the bottom wisdom teeth here are very low. They go so heckin' low, and they actually touch a nerve down here, which is why they were very, very nervous about taking out my bottom ones. They weren't sure if I was gonna have any nerve damage. And then if you take a look right, is it this side? No. If you take a look right here, I actually have 2 wisdom teeth there. So in total, I had 5 wisdom teeth. And these 2 particular wisdom teeth were actually in my sinus cavity. And at first they didn't catch this, but when I got my CT scan, they realized, oh, it's like up there, girl. You're gonna have issues. You're gonna have a hole in your head, essentially. So they were telling me that they're gonna try to go about it the normal way, which is like going through your gums. But if they can't get it out that way, they're gonna have to drill a hole into my skull, take out a piece of my skull, get the teeth out this way, and then put my skull back in, and the recovery was going to be far, far much worse. And it made me really nervous because when going into the surgery, I had no idea if they're gonna have to remove my skull or not, and that's what made me the most anxious, was that I didn't know what my recovery was going to be like. I didn't know if it was going to be painful and awful or like extremely painful, black and blue bruises. Like I had zero idea, and that's what drove me the most crazy, because I had like zero answers to this kind of stuff, but I went with it, all right? I was pretty nervous going into it. I also didn't want to like record too much because the room that I had signed up for was a free public room, essentially. So I was staying in the same room as 3 other people, and it was weird that it was weird. So like you could spend like $20 to stay with a room with just 2 other people. You could spend like $40 to stay in a room with like 1 other person, or you can get your own room for like $80 a night. And they told me that I was going to be there for a minimum of 4 nights. So I said, I'll take the free room, thank you. And I just tried my best to not let it bother me, essentially. The nervousness brought me to being just very tired, and I think I took a nap before my surgery. I was really tired. Alex had to work that morning, so he worked, and then he came in an hour before my surgery, and having him there really helped keep me at peace and helped me nap in peace, essentially. I was quite nervous at this point. I didn't let it show too much, but like I could notice that like my energy levels were very, very low. I felt very weak because I was just really nervous. I had never had surgery before. This was my first surgery. I've had like anesthesia before when I've had like prior dental work done in the States. When I was here in Japan and I had some throat issues, I get sick a lot, okay? They like made me like inhale anesthesia, and like it was supposed to like make me not feel anything in my nose through my throat, and it did not work. So yeah, so this was my first major surgery, and I was really nervous. Wisdom teeth is not in itself a major surgery, but the fact that my teeth were my bottom ones were very low, touching a nerve, and I had 2 in my sinus cavity, they made it sound like they were very nervous about it. So it made me a little nervous, but they said that they would do their best, and it was fine. It was fine. They gave me clothes to put on, like hospital clothes, surgery clothes, and they put me or they gave me an IV as well. And like my IV still hurts. Like when I like go over it like this, it still really hurts. I don't know if it was just because it was a bad IV after a while, or if this is just how IVs are, but it hurt. It hurt real bad. Yeah, not a fan of IVs after this experience. And it was time for surgery, and Alex was there, and he walked me over to like right before the door because obviously he wasn't allowed in. And yeah, so the doors to the surgery room opened up because they're automatic doors, so obviously people don't have to like touch them or anything like that. So they're automatic doors, and they opened up, and there in front of me was like 12 doctors. And I was so nervous. It made me really nervous seeing 12 doctors that were there. I don't know if that many doctors are necessary for a surgery for getting wisdom teeth taken out, or if it was just like the severity of my case or what, but there was 12 doctors right there. Maybe they weren't all necessarily for like my surgery or anything like that, but I was still very nervous. And like the surgery rooms were so different in comparison to like the rest of the hospital. It was just really weird and really scary, and I still walked with my little IV thing, and I shuffled my way with my hospital clothes and slippers, and I was extremely nervous at this point. I went ahead and I hopped up on the little table and I kicked off my slippers, and that's when I was really telling myself, like, you gotta stay calm. Like, you can't freak out now. This is not the time to be doing that, Shleb. And so I laid down, and they gave me like an oxygen breathing mask, and they were just chit-chatting with me. I did have a nurse who was in the operating room who spoke really good English, and she made me feel so good. Like, having her there, I think, really helped me the most. Like, knowing that if something was going wrong, I could say something and she would understand me and it would be okay. So having her there was just super amazing, and I don't know her name, but thank you so much. Not like you're gonna see this, but thank you. They gave me the anesthesia through my IV, and she said that it was gonna get really hot, but not to worry, that it was really normal. And it did. It got really hot. I remember saying to them, like, wow, this is hot, because I had like an oxygen mask on. I'm like, wow, this is really hot. So I was like, wow, this is really hot. And then that's when I started to feel it, and I could feel my eyes just, ooh, it got really dizzy. And they didn't tell me to count backwards from 10 to 1 or anything like that, but all the people I've talked to about like their wisdom teeth experience, they all had to do that, but they're also all in America. And so I just started counting backwards myself, and I remember saying 10, 9, and I don't know if I ever said 8, but I definitely thought it, and I was out. So I was completely under for the surgery. There was no way they were going to operate with me being awake. There was no way. No way. And so that's when I woke up and had a panic attack right away. For those of you who don't know, I do struggle with like depression, anxiety issues, as most people do these days. I do take meds for it, and they told me not to take my meds for the day, and I was a hot mess when I woke up. So that's when they called in Alex and my translator to help me calm down. And they did help me calm down, and yeah, it was okay. But when you are getting off anesthesia, it's really normal for your body to like kind of like jerk a bit, and that made Alex incredibly nervous. Like, he was like, I think, really on edge by seeing my body jerk a lot, because he thought I was probably gonna go into a seizure. But completely normal, and they rolled me back to my room. I remember my interpreter was there, and she's like, wow, I've like never seen her like this before. And I was like, what do you mean I'm always like this? I remember like little bits and pieces and whatnot, but I don't remember anything. So we woke up very loopy. Oh, you know what I do remember? I remember Alex was about to pass out on top of me. All of a sudden, I'm laying there. I have an oxygen mask on. I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I see Alex just like bend over like this, and he's like, his face is right on top of mine, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he was gonna pass out because my body was still jerking. He was really worked up and anxious about it. He's like, I don't know what's wrong. So they gave him a chair, he sat down, and he was fine. But he almost passed out on top of me, and I remember telling him, this isn't about you. I remember that much. I woke up and I was very loopy. At the end of the second one, you should see that I am getting a bit more irritated, which is also very normal because of the pain. And that's when hell starts, like an actual like hell. Like, it was awful. I would never wish this upon anyone, how awful this was. I don't think I've ever experienced so much pain in my entire life. So in Japan, their medicine here is quite weak. And after surgery, they were giving me this weak medicine. Like, if I had to compare it to something, it would be like a 5 milligram ibuprofen. Like, it was literally nothing that they were giving me for my pain. And I was throwing up. I was throwing up constantly. And I literally could not keep any food down. And the pain was just unbearable. That night, I also had another panic attack because I thought that the pain was never going to go away. This is a week and 1 day later, so obviously the pain has gone away, but like in that moment I was just covered in fear of this is never gonna go away, it's never gonna get better. And it really felt that way because they weren't giving me like strong enough meds to deal with coming out of surgery. So I do remember them telling me that the surgery went really, really well and that they did not have to take out my skull or anything like that. So basically, how they took out my teeth was that they cut out bits of my gum and they took out the teeth as so. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so they took it out, everything went fine. I still have my stitches. Everything's good and dandy. Surgery went really well. Recovery, not so much. So finally, after suffering with the really weak medicine, they finally, like I think 2 days later, they realized, oh, I think she needs stronger meds. So they finally gave me Traumacet, which is a highly addictive drug, which obviously you should not be put on if you are not in need of it. But for when you are throwing up because of pain alone, I think you need some meds that are strong like that. So they gave me Traumacet and things were finally starting to look up. Swelling was really bad. I do have some pictures that I will put up here of the swelling throughout my time there. And oh honey, I have seen some bad days, let me tell you. It was really bad. So, surgery went really, really well. Here are the pictures. You can literally see where my teeth used to be. It's so wild. I don't think you can really see it that well in the x-rays on the top ones, but for the bottom ones, there's just literally a hole of where my teeth used to be. Like, that's freaking wild, dude. It was really hot in the hospital. I remember that was like my biggest complaint the entire time. It was really, really hot and just unbearable, really. They didn't turn on the AC. They didn't give me a fan. They couldn't really open up the window very much, so I just suffered. And it was really hot, and they kept on serving me hot food. And they're like, Shelby, you need to eat or you won't get better. And I'm like, stop giving me hot food and maybe I can eat. The ice cream that they gave me to eat was too sweet for me to really like, so I didn't really eat the ice cream. Apparently the Jell-O was really bad, so they didn't even want to serve me the Jell-O. And the only Jell-O that they had at the konbini at the hospital, because there was a konbini at the hospital, was peach. And I'm not like allergic to peach, but whenever I eat anything peach flavored, my throat swells up a little bit and it's really hard to breathe. So I just don't really eat anything peach flavored. Personal preference. They gave me some purees that I really liked. There was a mango puree that I had, and like that was like, whew, that's what saved me. I think that was the turning point. That mango puree was so good. I just love mangoes in general. There was an applesauce that I scarfed through just because I had to, and then yeah, like that was like the only stuff that they served that I could eat because everything else was just not good. That was basically the food situation. Towards the end of my stay, I was able to start eating the warm croissants that they served me, and it was really hard, but I was able to get through some of it. The very last day, the croissants were so good. I really enjoyed the croissants on my very last day there. But yeah, it was just, food situation was not great. Not because the food was bad, but because they weren't serving me food that I could eat. It was all super hot, or it was cut up food, but it wasn't like grounded food, and I couldn't chew through anything. I didn't do anything in the hospital. I slept because that was the only thing that would help me with the pain, other than the meds finally, when they started giving me Traumacet. But like, I slept. I could not be on my phone, I couldn't read, I couldn't be on my laptop, I couldn't watch anything. Most people are like, oh, you know, I watched it on Netflix when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, but like I couldn't bear the pain. It was so bad. Even with the Traumacet, I really did struggle a lot with the pain. It was a lot better, but it still sucked. The nurses there were super helpful. They used a lot of like Google Translate or like just like translating apps to be able to talk to me because no one there spoke English. So the younger nurses like would have their phones out and they would talk to me or Alex, and they were all super nice and super helpful, and I'm just so grateful to them. There was one older nurse though, and she had I think like a work iPad, and she would like Google Translate like one word, and I remember she like Google translated like makeup once, and I'm like, does it look like I'm wearing makeup right now? And she would like say everything else in Japanese, and like I'm out of it. I'm taking trauma set. Like, you can't talk to me when I'm on trauma set. I'm in pain. I'm a little loopy. Like, you can't talk to me. And then while I was getting sick, like literally throwing up, she would like rub my back so hard to the point where the bed was shaking and I was getting sick because of her rubbing my back. And I was like, Yamate kudasai, like, please don't touch me, stop it. Oh, she meant so well, and she, like I don't think she meant any harm, but like, oh boy, she really did not help my recovery when she was around. There was also one nurse, because when in the first couple days of my recovery, I had to be like walked to the bathroom whenever I had to go, and there's one nurse who like, I woke up at like 6 a.m. one morning and she brought me to the bathroom and then left, and I had to walk back to my room and I threw up because like even walking would like give me motion sickness. So yeah, I threw up on the walk back, and I don't know if anyone got to clean it up. Obviously, I'm sure they did. It was in the garbage. I made it to the garbage, but like I didn't really have any issues with like translating or anything like that. I knew enough Japanese to tell them like things that I wanted. I got a lot of ice. A lot of ice. That helped big time. During the first couple days when I had really bad swelling, they told me not to like use ice because it would make the swelling, the pain from the swelling going down a lot worse. But like, I don't regret using ice towards the end of my time there. It was super helpful, super nice. Very nice, 10 out of 10. Noises bothered me a lot in the room because it felt like the entire time that I was there, I was just in a constant migraine. That's what it felt like after the surgery. It just, the lights were so bright. I told them to constantly shut the curtains because the light was just so unbearable. Everyone talking at times was very loud. The curtains moving was very loud. Not very nice, but managed. I never like cried or anything because of the pain of like the migraine side effects of everything, but other than that, everything was okay. Like I was very private. All the curtains were drawn, so like the other people there, like no one could like see each other or anything like that. I didn't really feel like we were all staying in the same room, but like we were, I don't know, the curtains just really helped the privacy aspect of it. But yeah, towards the end of my stay, the pain became more bearable, and finally on Monday I woke up and I still had a lot of swelling and I was still very low energy, but the pain was to a point where it was way more bearable, and I knew I could go home and take meds and I would be okay. So I said, I need to go home, and I went home. And I don't know the grand total of how much we spent. I don't know if I will be able to find the receipt if it's not like right here. If I do find it, I'll like put in the actual total like here or in the description box. But the total that I spent for getting all 5 of my wisdom teeth taken out, going under for surgery, and staying there for 4 nights, 5 days, meals, and just all the care and whatnot, was about $650, which was the max I was going to spend, because me and Alex are on a like program essentially where because we are low income, we can't spend more than a certain amount regardless of what happens to us. So if we were ever in like a freak accident or something like that and like had thousands of dollars of surgery needed, like we would never have to spend that much because of our low income. So yeah, we spend I think like maybe like $20 under like that max or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, we didn't have to spend all too much for the surgery, which is really nice, because in the States I hear that most people have to spend thousands of dollars to get their wisdom teeth taken out, especially if they are impacted like mine are. All of them, every single one of them. Oh, you know what I didn't mention? Okay, so my top teeth never broke through the top part of my gums. So this is actually probably really gross, but when they were like going in and getting rid of my top wisdom teeth, there's like basically like a lot of pus there for some reason. I'm not sure how it works, but basically if they don't break through the top layer or anything like that, there's just pus there. So they had to like clean up my teeth real good. That was real nasty. You want to see my teeth? They're here the whole time. Pog. I'll leave them in the case, but like these are my teeth. They're brown, they're nasty. They never broke through the skin. It's not like I can brush them. Don't be mean. But they're huge. Even like the doctor was like, oh my gosh, your teeth are freaking huge. The top ones are intact. The bottom ones they cut up multiple times so that they would hopefully prevent as much nerve damage as possible, and I got no nerve damage, so that's cool. In comparison to most experiences of in the United States, this is much different than a United States operation, because people in the United States go in, they're not even put under half the time, and they go home same day and they're just given meds. In Japan, it's very standard to stay there for a few days and get the care that way rather than just all right, bye, and like boot you out the door sort of thing. So yeah, that was my experience. I would never do it again. Like I probably should get my tonsils removed, but I am at the point where I don't want them removed because I don't want to go through this again. It was awful. It was really painful. I was at a really low point because it was really bad. They wanted, oh, one thing too, they wanted me to like keep track of when I took my meds. They like, this is for like all patients. Like, they expect the patient to keep track of when they take their meds, and like, I'm taking Traumacet. I'm in a lot of pain. I don't know when I'm taking meds. I can't be held responsible for this. You need to do this, or like whoever's with me needs to write it down. Like I can't do this. So I thought that was really weird. They would sign me up for taking showers, and the first time that they signed me up, I like slept through it, so I couldn't even go take my shower for that day because I slept through like my like scheduled time slot. So I think I only took one shower in there, which is really gross, but like you also have to remember, like I'm sleeping most of the time. I don't want to get up, only if I like really need to use the bathroom, so it's not as gross as it might sound. I probably really stunk, but like I had no will to shower. I've showered a lot since I've gotten home, of course, but like the shower is really nice though. It was like kind of like, it's like the onsen thing I went to in Himeji. It's not like an onsen. It's like the basis of an onsen though. Like you wash yourself and then you go into the bath. Like it's that sort of thing. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but if you live in Japan, you know what I mean. But yeah, I hope that this was informative. I'm still recovering, so hopefully the recovery will continue to go well and whatnot. Sorry if my talking is a hot mess in this video. I just figured I would record it now because I want to. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this was informative and that you really enjoyed my pain. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Look at the swelling. You can't see my bruising, but you're gonna see it in pictures. Can you see my bruising? You can see my dark circles. My bruising would be on this side. I thought I had some bruising today, but I think my makeup did a pretty okay job covering it up.